I
Just a
apologize,
little
but this
late.
is,
Seven,
yeah,
7
this is
minutes. Well,
perfect
next
actually
time.
for our title. It kind of works out that we had so many technical difficulties because it's part of being a YouTuber.
Sadly.
Yeah. So, good morning. If you're new to us, my name is Karen, and this is Anne, and we're both YouTubers, and we lived in Mexico, and we're friends in Mexico for a long time. And if you're new to us, please make sure that you comment so we can say hi and meet you. And if you follow us, still say hi so we can chat, because I think my favorite part of the lives is actually getting to interact with you like in real time versus just you leaving a comment and then me forgetting that you commented and responded days later. I don't think Anne does that, but I do. I apologize.
I'm religious about my comments. Yeah, I check every day just in case.
Yeah. I tend to forget. Like there's too much social media for me, so I have to like narrow it down sometimes cuz it gets overwhelming. So,
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
Francie
so
found us. I just saw her post.
yeah, so what do you where should we start? There's so much to say about now becoming a YouTuber that sometimes is
Yeah.
difficult.
And I
So,
think
hold on, let me make sure the comments.
it's it's more, don't immediately become a YouTuber. Like if you want to be a YouTuber, let's say you want to do RV life, you want to move to Mexico, you want to do all the things, and and then you want to show that via a YouTube channel, which is a great thing to do. Like I wish more people YouTubed, but I think when you're starting off doing something new, it's too much. It's too much. And you don't, especially if you've got kids, you don't know if your kids want to be in the video. They don't know if they want to be in the video. This is the issue with kids too. And not even just kids, other adults. You can't just walk up to someone and be like, "Hey, you want to be in a YouTube video?" Like it's too vague. So yeah,
Yes.
jumping into it,
Good.
assuming it's going to be
Good
all good.
morning, Lori. Lori said buenos dias. Buenos dias, Lori.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I think YouTube never stops being overwhelming. So too much is the perfect thing to say because that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I didn't take into consideration, I don't know if you did, but the technical aspect of YouTube. Like, I remember when I first started, I bought a bunch of equipment, like expensive equipment, like, oh, figured out how to use it. And good morning, Francie. Is that, did I say it right? Francie? And
That's
I'm
my guess.
sorry. I see that you said I found you. And yes, I apologize. I had to create the live like 5 times for it actually work. So if you kept clicking on them and they weren't working, my bad. It's totally my fault. Trial and error. Trial and error. But yeah,
Yeah.
so back to the equipment. Like I had like this equipment forever because it's so overwhelming for you to be living a new life. And that back then, that was 5 years ago. So back then, I was living on the road in the United States. We were hopping from city to city. We were house sitting, living in the car. And it was so challenging figuring out how to live like that. And at
Yeah.
the same time, pull out this really fancy camera and record my life and talk to the camera and figure out like how the hell I'm going to edit it in my head. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Probably my favorite video of yours, Karen, is, I think it's literally your first video, but it's almost two parts. Like the very beginning, it's you doing travel life with your kids via road schooling, like car, and then there's like several months, and then you go back to that same video
Yeah.
of how difficult it is to start YouTube and start something else at the same time. So yeah, I think absolutely, if you're going to do YouTube and you're thinking about moving to Mexico, let's say, start YouTube now. Before you move to Mexico, start YouTube now. Talk about the planning, talk about other things. But that way, when you come to Mexico, you're not figuring out Mexico and figuring out YouTube at the same time, because I think that's overwhelming. So yeah, just start now.
Yeah.
Or be willing to wait a long time. So
Absolutely. I don't know if it's your internet or mine, but you're on a delay. But Tales from the Leash Expat Dog Live messaged us. What's your name? What's your real name so we can address you? And it says, "Good morning, ladies. Quick question. How do you both like the weather in San Cruz as compared to other places in Mexico?" You want to answer that? You can
I love
compare
it.
it to Merida. Hi,
Definitely
Amy.
better.
Nice to meet you, Amy.
Yeah, definitely better than Merida just because it's not so hot, but I like the cold. So San Cruz is colder and I appreciate that. So for me, the mountain weather is definitely more my style.
Yeah. So, like she said, it's sorry. That was yeah. So right now I'm regretting my choices better, especially with all the technical difficulties we had because it is hot right now. Now it's not Merida hot. It's probably I don't know. I'm gonna go with 75. I would have to like look it up, but so the weather here has moments that is warm enough for you to feel like it's summer, and then it's cold enough for you to feel like it's winter. So I really like that. Being in Central America, I feel like that's rare. Like you really have to be up in the mountains to experience that.
Mhm.
And but aside from that, all the places I traveled um, have had a little bit of that. But I did travel during like I think March
February,
and
March, something like that.
January. Yeah. What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I think it was February/March. Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So I
It's been
think
a year
that
already.
probably makes a difference. So, okay, let's see. We got a bunch of messages at the same time, so give me a moment. All right, so Francie says, when we travel, hubby, small dog, and me, there's already enough bags. The idea of a bag full devoted to equipment is more than I can imagine. Do you I didn't finish my story. I will answer that before Anne. Because what I ended up doing is I stopped using all that equipment because it was just too crazy. And I moved on to my iPhone. So, no, I actually did not take a tripod. I did not take my lighting. I did not take my fancy, well, sometimes I'll take my fancy camera and like put it in my purse or something like that. But I did not take anything with me when I travel because it's too hectic. I have two kids to worry about, and they have stuff. I don't want them to leave their stuff behind. So my mind is always elsewhere. And the iPhone is the easiest thing because it's always in my hand. I could just pull it out and record wherever. So that's what I do. I don't know about you. What about you, Anne?
So yeah, I also use my phone. I when I started RV life, that was when I also started YouTube, and I traveled with a gimbal. I traveled with a not a crazy fancy camera, but a slightly fancier camera. And I noticed during RV life, I never used it. I didn't like using it. I didn't like even having a selfie stick. I don't enjoy carrying around. So by the time I came to Mexico, I was like, no, we're using our cell phone and pray that there's good lighting outside because I'm just not carrying all these things anymore. Yeah, no, so I don't have any luggage. I have a bag that I put my laptop into, and my phone obviously is always on me. That's and
Yeah.
I carry that.
Yeah, I would say my laptop is the only other thing I carry all the time. So,
If I don't have to
and
check anything in,
hi,
that's my goal.
Kiara's friend from Great Britain. What's your name? So I can say hi to you. But I think I know who you are. Okay, so Amy said, I live in I lived in Merida for 2 years and we're planning to come to San Chris, but stuff happened. Now we're headed for Puebla next month. Bernie
Mm,
and I need cooler weather.
yeah.
He's a snow dog. Yeah. Merida is so rough. And I mean, we're only in March. I can only imagine like during the summer. That must be crazy. And for a snow dog, pobrecito. Yeah. Yeah. Give him a hug. Much easier to travel with carry on, only for me and my big dog. Yeah. What is
Yes.
it like to travel with a big dog? I would love to know that. I can't even imagine. Like, I just saw Anne's video and just had a video today of moving from here to the United States with her dog, and her dog is tiny,
Yeah.
almost overweight according to her, but tiny. So I cannot imagine traveling with a big dog.
I mean, I know people are scared to travel with their dogs in cargo. And I'm also intimidated by that idea, but I hear good things, honestly. I feel like now the temperature has to be right. So traveling, let's say in the summer, I think is much more limited with cargo. Um, but so long as the temperature is good, I think there's not usually an issue with people traveling with cargo, dogs in the cargo. But
Yeah.
Amy would know better.
Hi. Hi, Amalia. This is like, so my daughter has a friend, Amalia, that they've been friends, I want to say for like a year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amalia. And they talk all the time. So they never met. She lives in Great Britain, and my obviously we're in Mexico right now. So they've never met, but they're like the bestest friends. So
Cool.
it's really cool to see her in the chat. So this is me and her meeting, the closest to in person ever. So, what else would you say about how hard it is to start YouTube and why you wouldn't recommend for people to start YouTube right away?
I mean, aside from the learning curve, I imagine if you're single, maybe it's easier. But like with my son, doing RV life, Alex was in my videos because we're doing RV life as a family, so he's in my videos. At that age, he was 9 when we started. He was fine with it, but also I was doing very limited. It was it was almost like watching somebody's home movies more than Insta or more than YouTube. It was much more limited. But once we moved to Mexico and I started getting much more detailed about our lives and getting much more just showing the real world, that was when the teenager in him happened, right? He started getting older. Now he's 13. He doesn't want to be in all the videos. He doesn't mind being a side character. He's okay if I'm panning the room and he's there, but he doesn't want to talk on the channel very often. He doesn't want to engage. He doesn't necessarily want me to talk about him either, because
Right.
that's his life. Um, and that might change in a year. Maybe in a year he'll want his own channel and whatever. But yeah, so it is,
Yeah.
especially because so many people ask me about Alex. Right, he went to a school in Mexico. They want to know information about his life, but it's a fine line between what he's comfortable with me sharing and what I can show. So one, I can't record any of it. Yeah, and he doesn't want to on it as often. He'll do
Absolutely. I
cute
think,
clips with me sometimes.
yeah, I think that that's a really difficult thing, especially as a single mom, because I feel like 75% of the time I'm with my kids, you know? And as I'm
Mhm.
like recording, if I pan out and like try to get them or like by mistake like pan towards their area, they like
Yeah.
freak out. And they'll cover their face. Oh, they'll get mad at me, you know? And sometimes it's by mistake. Sometimes I'm like, oh, it's just the back of their head. They won't mind. But they do. They mind. They mind. So
Yeah.
it's like such a like it's something I did not think. Like we would start traveling, they were 8 and 10, and they were all about like taking pictures and things like that. Now, as they're teenagers, they're like completely against it.
And
So
video is different. Video is also
yeah,
different than pictures. Um, and then, especially when you're traveling, right? You want to live in the moment. Your kid wants to live in the moment, and as you're recording, those in the moment might mean that my kid is angry or happy or whatever, making loud noises as I'm trying to like set a calm mood, and maybe he's not calm, so then it's in the background. I'm trying to figure out what's happening, so it's hard for me to pull out my camera and record when I might not know what's going on in the first place. So there's a lot of videos where my camera is shaky or not quite angled perfectly, and it's probably because I'm not looking at my phone. I have it out in a blind hope that I will accidentally record what I need to record, but really I'm looking around trying to figure things out, and I'm trying to like keep my camera steady and capture things. So yeah, recording in the moment during travel, difficult, not always easy to do, but
yeah,
still worth it. But yeah, it takes you out of the moment.
yeah, absolutely. So, Malia, if you're laughing at Kiara not wanting to be in the videos, you should be like upset with her and tell her that she should try to be in the videos, at least some of them.
Yes.
And my mom is probably watching. If she is, She's always on my case. Like, why are the kids not in the video? I want to see the kids. Like, what are the kids doing? Are the
Yeah,
kids going with you? Are you really alone?
everyone
Like,
wants
she's
to know
always
about the
asking me
kids.
these things.
It's like we can tell you in person,
Let
but
me
we
tell
can't
her.
tell you on video.
Let me tell her in Spanish because she's not gonna understand that. Mami, si estás viendo este video, la razón que las niñas no están en el video es porque no quieren. Yo trato, yo les pido, les ruego y nada, no quieren estar en el video, les da pena, se ponen bravas conmigo. Pero yo trato, te prometo que trato. So, yeah, it's hilarious. So, Amy says that her dog travels with her. Like they get a whole row in the plane to themselves. I think that's pretty cool because he is. Hold on. Oh, I think I missed the comment. So Bernie is a Bernese mountain dog, and he's my anaphylaxis alert service dog.
Oh,
So they
okay,
get a whole row to themselves.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Henry is
loves
not service.
flying. Yeah, he loves flying, but he's getting older, so arthritis is an issue. I
Mm,
wanted to do a channel with him because I've never seen travel vlogs from a dog's perspective. That's true. I don't want to invest in a costly equipment. Yeah, you don't need costly equipment. You can just use your phone.
yeah, yeah.
Whatever phone you have. I want to say, Anne, you had like a really old iPhone when you first started, right?
No, I have an iPhone 8, which is an older iPhone, and I'm still using the iPhone 8.
Yeah, aren't we like on 15 or something?
I don't even know, at
I don't
least
know. I have an
14.
11, I think.
I'm thinking about upgrading soon because the camera specifically is better.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, so
for
I've got
sure.
the same old phone.
Yeah. Okay, so he's a big teddy bear. Diego from La Garita 70 is close in age to Alex. Love watching his videos. Have you
Awesome.
watched his videos? I haven't seen him before. Your kids should film some Spanish as a second language videos. I would love for my kids to film some videos on anything,
Yeah,
Amy. On
if they only
anything.
would.
Some, yeah, like, first of all, so my kids grew up speaking both. My mom doesn't speak English, um, and then my ex-husband was from Honduras, so we both spoke Spanish. And in Miami, where they were growing up, we pretty much speak Spanglish, like a little bit of both. But when my mom would babysit, they only would speak Spanish, so they grew up speaking both. So I wouldn't even call it a second language for them. It's just a matter of what they get to practice more often, you know. But yeah, they don't want to do videos. And my youngest, when she was 10, she had her own YouTube channel, and she was amazing. Of course, I'm the mom, so a little biased, but she was amazing. So it's kind of sad for me to see that she doesn't want to do videos, but she's a
And she deleted
teenager.
all her old videos.
Yeah.
That's the
Yes, what Anne said. What Anne
yeah,
said.
yeah,
She deleted all her old videos. She had, I don't, it wasn't that many, maybe 10, but still, like, to me, those were memories that are now gone because she
yeah,
just deleted them. So yeah, but she was really good. She would be like really good at making a channel.
yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe eventually they'll get over it. Do you think Alex will get over it, Anne?
Yeah, I think the teenage years, you're figuring out who you are, and so the idea of a dedicated channel is probably a little intimidating for kids. And honestly, showing their faces all the time is probably a little bit intimidating, especially video by a picture. A picture you can perfect, you can filter, you can do a lot of things. Video is a little harder. There are filters, but it's just a little harder to make it maybe exactly what you want it to be. So, yeah, I hope Alex starts doing just unfiltered, top of his head thoughts because as his mother, I think that would be awesome. But yeah,
Yeah, I
right
think that
now,
would be cool too. I would love to watch it, and I think other kids would also. It would be helpful for other kids because I
mhm,
know when we started traveling, there weren't that many YouTubers that shared the world schooling experience.
yeah,
Especially from a kid's point of view. That's still rare. I say a lot of parents share their kids, but not necessarily the kids sharing their own stories.
yeah.
So
And
I
part of
think that
why
would be
Alex
really
doesn't
cool.
want me to share, to speak for him is because our opinions are different. I might say something like, "Oh, Alex likes this and this," and he might phrase it that he tolerates that and that, or that maybe he does love it, but like his translation of the same thing might not be the same. So that's part of why he doesn't want me speaking for him, is because he doesn't always agree with my
Yeah.
interpretation of what I'm looking at.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
I have a good example of that actually. If anybody has seen my palenque video, my daughter was kind of upset that I mentioned that she was vomiting out the window. Like she was not cool with that at all. Like eventually I explained, like I didn't show her
yeah,
vomiting and I didn't
yeah.
really show proof of the vomiting, but she did not appreciate that that was mentioned at all. Because that was definitely not fun for her.
Then she
If
sure
you're
as heck
coming,
vomited.
yeah, if you're coming in now, I see the numbers went up a little bit.
Mm.
Please let us know who you are so we can say good morning to you and meet you and chat with you. And yeah, if you have any questions, please let us know. So, Amalia, don't laugh. She's gonna get mad. Don't tell her I said this, okay? Yeah. So, what else do you find challenging? For me, another challenge with being a YouTuber is the editing, like how time consuming it is. Like I feel life moves so much faster than I can edit. Because right now we came back from Guatemala and I have like 7 videos worth of footage.
Yeah,
And that's so much editing, and it takes me 2 to 3 days to edit one video.
yeah.
So that is challenging for me. How about you?
Same, same. And I watch. There's so many YouTubers that really don't edit, and part of me is like, oh, do I do that? I'm curious about your audience. How would your audience feel if Karen made a video that was like a little edited, but basically not? If she's just showing without editing, because sometimes we might make it look like there's not a lot of editing, but even a simple video, a crazy amount of thought goes into it and a crazy amount of trial and error. We send each other our videos, like the first draft of the video, and we always critique each other, and then we have to edit it again. Sometimes it's background stuff we're editing, sometimes it's foreground, but it's a process. And I think for me, I'm interested to
Oh,
see
you
how
froze.
how unedited I can do it, because yeah, editing takes so much time.
Yeah. So Amy, yes, we both edit our videos. Actually, we do everything ourselves, from the thumbnail to the title to the editing to the recording to the living. More importantly, the living.
Yes,
Yeah, like we edit everything. And
yeah, she likes
she
unedited
says,
videos.
I
I
like
saw that.
unedited videos, shorts, especially because you get to see a more realistic view.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So I'm glad that you say that because Anna and I were having a conversation about that yesterday,
Yeah,
about potentially doing something a little bit less edited. It's just
you can get it
hard.
out faster, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the delay drives me nuts sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. But I have to say, like, being that like we're living life and like recording at the same time, I find that sometimes, like, if I don't edit, you would not understand what's happening
True.
because there's like so much movement and so much craziness.
Yes. Yeah.
But I could, like, if I concentrate on doing specifically a video that is just like flowing, that's possible. So, but I'm gonna have to experiment with that because
Yeah.
editing is so time consuming. So,
I
you
think
need a thanks button. Are you talking to me, Amy?
yeah, she's talking for your channel. We're
Yeah,
working
if
on
you're
that
talking to
thanks
me, I
button.
don't think I can. I'm not monetized.
Yeah, we'll work
Right,
on
Anne?
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, we need more subscribers and more views, but
Yes.
we'll get
So,
there.
yeah, if you're new to me, I am non monetized. I've been a YouTuber for 2 years, but I have
Mm.
not reached my 1,000 subscribers and I have to reach my watch hours. So, we have just been growing and doing this kind of for fun and growth.
Yeah.
Now, I do have that buy me a coffee. That's why I mention it every video. And it's really cool. Like, when I get, oh, first of all, I'm always drinking coffee. But it's really cool when you guys like, buy me a coffee. It feels kind of like we're closer than we actually are. So that is cool.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I would say that Anne's video today was probably the most realistic view of her life.
I think
How do
because
you
it
feel
was,
about that, Anne?
yeah, well, because it wasn't, I wouldn't call it education. I do a lot of videos that are much more like I'm talking about a subject, whereas this one was more of a day in the life. It was a travel day. It was recording what was happening around me more than talking about it. So,
You froze. Sorry.
oh,
You said something about it. You do more videos about something instead
yeah,
of your
for
life.
talking head videos where I'm explaining something to the audience, I think those have to, well, again, for me, I feel like they have to be edited. Otherwise, I get long winded. But for day in the life where I'm doing something and I'm walking around, then showing my day, that's a lot easier to show unedited or minimally edited. So yeah,
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah. It was really cool to see. So I was gone. I went to Guatemala like a week before and actually left San Cristobal. So I did not get to say goodbye like in real time. We had to say goodbye early. So it was really cool for me to watch that video
Mhm.
of her like leaving because it's kind of like me being there, but not really being there. So that was pretty cool. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see your adventures in your new place. Francie said, editing takes a lot of time because the world never seems to know exactly. Oh, wait. It disappears so quickly from the phone. I have to read it from the
I
other one.
agree.
Editing takes a lot of time because the world never seems to know exactly what we want to show/slash say. You can pre plan and script it ahead of time and pray the world complies. Yes, or spend the hours. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you just never, you never
Yeah.
know what's going to happen. So the scripting for me has been super difficult because I really record my life. Like that is literally my life. I don't think I ever go out of my way to do something or more out there just so I can get it on video. Like I actually just record the things that I like to do and take you with me as I discover these new things or these new places. And
Yeah.
the insights that come to me, they usually come to me after. So,
Mhm.
like the Palenque video, for example, if I had not experienced the road, how rough it was, how dangerous it was, how the guy wouldn't stop for my daughter to be able to vomit, like or calm her stomach for a second. Like this is something that we had no idea was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like maybe Anne is good at research, so maybe she knew more than there are things that just kind of happen. And so life makes the video. So I can't
Mhm.
really script my videos because I never know what the hell's gonna happen. Like, yeah, like you say, like if life complies, it it usually
Yeah.
doesn't. It usually
And you do
doesn't. What is
more,
your experience like, Anne?
well, you do
Do you
more vlog
script?
style. You do much more day in the life ish videos, whereas I have a topic that I want to talk about. Now, I might show part of my day in my videos. Usually the parts that I'm showing are to explain further the topics I'm talking about. So again, I go about my day. I'm recording a lot of my day just in case I want to talk about it later, more than with the intention of showing it immediately. So I have so much footage of randomness that I could put into a video, whereas you record it that day, let's say 1 or 2 days maybe, and then you show it all at once. So yours is a more flowy day in the life video. Mine is much more scripted in terms of I have a topic that I want to discuss, and then I show whatever b-roll I think will explain that better.
Yeah,
Usually,
that's true. Um, Amy wants to know, where did you go, Anne? Where did you
I
go?
I am back in the U.S. Can I hold on? Let's see if I can do this. So this is, well, you got the not the best view, but I'm at home. I'm in Georgia. And I'm with my dad right now. So yeah, this is where we
Georgia
offer.
in the United States, not the country.
Correct. Yes. Yes. The U.S.
Yeah. So yeah, and you'll have to watch her videos to know why she left and left me behind. But yeah, it's pretty.
But I think it ties in though with
It's
the don't be a YouTuber. You know, if I was dead set on being a Mexico YouTuber, then I would be crushed right now. You know, so I think part of being a YouTuber is knowing what your real purpose is. So my channel is called Priority Focus Life because I want to show kind of how I view my priorities and how I change my life to accommodate what I think is important. One of the things I think is important is my kid, obviously. So I'll just say here because I don't mind. Alex decided he wanted to go to school, and at the same, I start with that, but the truth is, I was ready to leave Mexico. I didn't know where I wanted to go. Alex wanted to go to school and he wanted English speaking because the school he was in Mexico, he actually enjoyed it, but the language barrier was too much for him. And Alex, at the end of the day, is academic. He likes to learn. So he found it super frustrating being in the room and not understanding, right, what the teachers are saying. So the
yeah.
combination of I was ready to go someplace new because I just always move. And then Alex wanted a school environment, more of a school environment, made the US, I think, just easier for now at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as an immigrant to the US, I gotta tell you, like, I had such a hard time not speaking English and being in school. And we've discussed it. I don't know if we discussed it last live, but they didn't have ESOL where I went to school, so
I find that
there
so
was no Spanish.
strange. Like Spanish has for forever been the second language, like the second the most language spoken aside from English, right? I came to the US a Japanese speaker, or technically I returned to the US a Japanese speaker. I went to ESL. I had a Japanese teacher teaching me English. So I learned English relatively quickly. Um, so it boggles my mind that you went to Miami and they didn't have an ESL teacher in Spanish. I don't understand
Yeah.
that.
I think maybe it was a private school, so maybe that's why. Maybe only
Could
public
be maybe
schools
the
did
public schools
ESL.
had it.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, Amy says Spanish should be taught in school in the U.S. schools starting in kindergarten. And Amy is in Mississippi right now with her daughter Anne, so she's kind of close to you.
Not too
Not
far.
too close, but kind of close. So yeah, and she wants to know how your Spanish is. How's your Spanish going,
I don't.
Anne?
So how do you think my Spanish is, Karen? Because although I will say I'm lazy
Me,
when
I
Karen is
think it's.
around.
I
I,
think
I,
I think
yeah.
your Spanish is fabulous. Yeah. So I hang out with Anne a lot, obviously, and here, like, she can totally communicate with most people, you know. And a lot of times when we do tours and things like that, I'll be translating, as the guy speaks. And a lot of times she knows what the guy said without me translating, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So I think she's really good. She might not carry conversations, but as far as communicating, I think she's really good.
Yeah. I
So
think because English is a second language, I think because I've been to countries where I don't understand it, I have an ear for not even an ear. I watch.
sorry, that's me.
Oh, like
You know what? This is a good story. I'm gonna take. So we have garbage people or people that collect garbage that go around, and I am like the only one with the doorbell in my privada, which is like a little complex area, like a accumulation of little houses, and we have a gate. So he will ring my bell to get some other people's trash every morning. Today's kind of late, but usually it'll be like 6, 7 in the morning, and yeah.
wow.
So that's what's happening. So excuse the doorbell. Please
No.
ignore it. And and if you're coming in, please say hello so we can say hello back. I see 8 people and I only got like 4 hellos. So, and I did miss it. I just went back through and I miss Amalia said good afternoon because she's in England. I mean, in Great Britain. So
Yeah.
it's 3 o'clock over there. So I'm sorry I missed that.
Oh,
And
Lori said
Lori said,
that.
hello, I'm back. You're
Welcome
a
back.
first timer. Welcome, Lori. I'm Karen. This is Anne. she used to live in Mexico. I live in San Cristobal de las Casas and use it as my hub for full-time travel. So if you have any questions, please let us know. I'll love to answer them. So,
Oh, she's in
and
Texas.
she's in Texas. What part of Texas? And Francie says, oh no, that's an old one. Sorry, comments are like all over the place. It's kind of hard to keep track. I kind of wish they would stay on the phone. So
Yeah,
I'm doing the live from the phone, and the messages will pop up on the phone, but they disappear within seconds. I can't
yeah,
read that fast, especially if
that's why
I'm
the
mid
laptop
thought.
is nearby so we can read it.
Yeah. So well, welcome to the YouTuber world. It's kind of cuckoo bananas a little bit.
But
So
fun. But fun.
yeah.
No.
What I left you yesterday on your post, the house I rented, and it disappeared. You beat me to it by one day. The owner told me when I called.
Oh.
Oh, wait. The
Timing is
house that
everything.
she had here in Mexico.
Has to be.
Yeah,
Because she
right?
wasn't renting my dad's house.
So Agnes in her dad's house now. That
It's
is
available
what a small
now.
world.
I'm assuming it's available now. I don't know if she's already rented it. San Cruz is a very small world, honestly. Like it's
Yeah.
200,000
So Lori,
officially, but it doesn't feel 200,000 to me.
oh, so are you coming back to San Chris, Lori, or like are you like now in Texas? Did you live in San Chris for a while and move back to Texas? I'm so curious because her place is available. I don't know. Is it available or did somebody move in already?
I haven't checked. But I will say most because I lived in one apartment in like a quadra, like there's 4 apartments kind of close together, and they were almost always full. So like San Cruz is a popular place, and I think the my landlady was awesome. So people like her. You can't blame her.
So did you come here to look for a place or were you doing it like over the phone and stuff like that? And are you talking about my place or Anne's place? That's when this is Karen's house.
Oh, Karen does have a nice house.
Yes. My house is fabulous, but actually, so these are like townhouses kind of. I think they kind of look like townhouses.
Yeah.
It's like a Mexican version. And the house next door is empty and is being rented. So if you need a place and you still want to come to St. Chris, these places are really cool because we're like in a little privada. I was in Karen's place. I watched your video yesterday on choosing houses. Oh, so cool. So cool. Yeah, so there's one. Supposedly is about the same, or at least the same layout. I haven't seen it, but I've seen a lot of real estate agents bring people there. So if you still want a house on St. Chris, it is
Maybe they'll
possible.
let you record it.
I wonder. I wonder. Yeah, it would be so cool. Yeah. Yeah, this house is amazing. It really is. And I saw a lot of houses. I want to say like we probably saw about like maybe 10, 15 total. And I didn't see anything with this kind of layout. And the 3 bedrooms and, private rooms, 3 private rooms. I think that's
Yeah.
the hardest thing to find.
In San
And it
Cruz,
has
yeah.
2.5 bathrooms. Yeah. So, and I love the neighborhood. The neighborhood is amazing. Are you still living in that house? Well, depends which house you're talking about.
You've lived in is it 3 different houses?
This is my third house, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been here for a year though. But if you watch an older video, then probably not. I lived in a house that was made out of wood and had beautiful view. But that house comes, and if that's the house you're talking about, it's always empty. Like every 6 months. Like she does short-term rentals,
Yeah.
glass windows. Yeah, so that's probably the one. So that one was in Rancho San Nicolas, which has like beautiful like
Huge windows.
yeah, huge windows. It has like a lot of nature around it. Though where I live now, there isn't that much nature. It's more like concrete everywhere. Um, yeah, but that house, she does short-term rentals, so you can probably still get it. So yeah, it was really pretty, and I really liked living there. That was the second place I lived in. The first one was in Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia is closer to Centro. What I didn't like about that so much was that you were around all the tourists all the time and the vendors, and there was just a lot happening all the time. So then I moved to Rancho San Nicolas, which is on the outskirts, kind of like right before you hit the periférico, and it was closer to nature. So that was really really nice. So yeah. Um, I probably still have her phone number. Message me on either Facebook or Instagram, and I'll send you her contact because that house is always coming up regularly. Um, that had two bedrooms, and the third one was not private. So I always was in between the two people. I was between my two children, and the bathrooms were inside the bedrooms. So for me to use the bathroom, I had to go through their bedroom. I was not a fan of that. I much like the setup now, for sure. So, are you freezing? All right, well, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. It was nice chit chatting. If you guys have any questions, please let us know. You can always messages and let us know anything that you want to talk about. I'm hoping now that Anne is gone to have these little, you know, lives every once in a while so we can both talk to you guys at the same time since we won't be doing videos together anymore, at least for a little while. So, yeah. All right. It was a pleasure. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye, Anne. Thanks for chatting. Bye.